of you here have talked a lot about how to live a healthier life and how to also eat healthier. And there's always this phrase that comes up in my mind. We eat to live, not live to eat. And I always wondered and wanted to ask a question into this phrase. What is the meaning in this phrase? To live, to have a life. Well, for me, to live, to have a life has a meaning because it's not everlasting. There is the end to it. And within that, we have goals we want to achieve. We have purpose. We have destination in life where we want to be before it's all gone to pass. And to reach our goals, everybody knows that the road is not just long, but it's also always changing. And the only one who's gonna succeed in this road is the one who can focus on this long changing maze called life. And I would like to tell you about an interview done by Warren Buffett in CNBC. And this was the first time when he was meeting with Bill Gates. And of course, as intelligence and smart person would do, they would do a quiz or play a game. But in this time, they decided to play a game to write down a word that accounted the most for their success. And interestingly, they both wrote down the same word. Now, this one word, is focus. Now, focus can help us get to our goals quicker. But how do we get focused? Pure focus like these people. Now, if you look at their daily lives, their daily routines, it's basically the same thing every day. They wear the same thing every day. They eat the same thing every day. They use the same products every day. They even read the same thing every day. I don't know why. Now, how many of you is a fan of Apple? Yes. So, may I ask you, what does Steve Jobs always wear? Turtleneck. Yes, you have my gratitude. And what if I tell you, we don't need all that. We don't need to be like them at all. What if, indeed, what IF, intermittent fasting, might help you to get more focused, to get your things done quicker and more efficient? So how many of you here have known about intermittent fasting? Wow, that's a lot. So I'll tell you anyway. Intermittent fasting is a tool. First of all, I would like to define the word fasting. Fasting is a period where your body isn't digesting any food. Your body isn't eating. You're not taking any food in it. And it is working at the optimal level. Your hormones work at the optimal level. Your growth hormones work. Your melatonin works. If you think about it, you already done fasting while you sleep because growth hormones releases at that time, right? And for the word intermittent, it's a little tricky, but if you search for it on Google, there's a lot of different contexts into it. But in this context, it means on and off. Now, if you put it together, it means that you're going to eat and not eat in an interval. For example, let me give you an example. For me, I would wake up at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would not just eat anything. I would go straight into my work, my business, and I would eat at 1 or 2, and then later in the night, 7 or 8, I would have my big dinner. And for those of you who like to eat breakfast at the morning, you can do it also. You would have like breakfast at 8, and maybe you would have a dinner at around 1 or 2. Now, this is a variation called 16-8, which is the most effective one, according to Johns Hopkins Medicine. It promotes, it may help prevent the heart diseases, and it may help prevent diabetes. And above all of that, for our brain functions, it boosts the working memory in animals, and also verbal memories in humans. Now, imagine if you have a memory span of a goldfish. How would you go into your daily life if a minute ago you just did something and you forget about it, right? Now, how is this related to us humans? So around around 12,000 years ago, we were Homo sapiens. Our ancestors were Homo sapiens, and all they did was just they don't have food lying around them. They just did hunting, foraging, and killing the animals to get food. And it could take days, it could take weeks for them to get to the food they have to get. And that is passed on to us. So we still have that gene. And that's exactly how our brain works. We get our rewards, we have something for it. Now, let me give you an example because you might not see this in the daily life. Imagine for wild animals, there is a deer in a field feeding on grass. And all I do is just eat and shit. That's why I call it a dumb deer. Now, there is a wolf 200 meters away. He is hungry. He hasn't been eating for 3 days. He is focused still as he's closing in with two of his friends alongside. His stillness, even the flies around his eye, doesn't matter. He sees that dumb deer and he sees something in it, but he doesn't know what it is. Just kidding. He sees something in that deer, movement, even the slightest friction of weakness. He signals his friend with a glance and jump right on to that deer and kill it. Now, how will this relate to us, Homo sapiens sapiens, since they are canis lupus, you know what I mean, right? Let me tell you my own story. I have one class in marketing. We were divided into group work. Let me continue. We were divided into a group work, and we have to do a data analytics, and it was about coding. We have to compete with each other. Coding using our language. If you don't know what it is, imagine 1,000 pages of algebra all together. And a lot of people would have already dropped dead seeing this, but I'm sitting very still, focused, and see something. But this time I know what it is. And at that moment, I see the number, the patterns moving. And I was able to propose a marketing plan to and then I got the second place learning. Now, what I learned from this is that intermittent fasting helped me to say that, hey, help me to train my brain, basically. To say that, hey, I need to get this thing done first before I can get the food. My life depends on it. My survival depends on it. Now, it might trigger your brain in a lot of different ways, but basically, it's mostly this. And I would like to encourage you guys, tomorrow, ask yourself, what is my goal? And I would say, go hunt for your goals using intermittent fasting. Unless your goal is to eat all day, then I can help you. Thank you.